as an entrepreneur who's had some relatively magnanimous success and impacted the lives of other entrepreneurs, one of the things that have impacted my life the most is the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read. Right. And so, like, I get it, because when you start reading books, you get children reading books, you open up a whole new world to them of possibilities, of probabilities, of perspectives, paradigms, just because when you learn how to read, you see that the world is so much bigger than you thought it was. Somebody takes 20 years of their life learning something, a skill, a lesson, a perspective. They take 2 years of their life putting it in a book, and I can sit down and get that 20 years plus that 2 years in 2 hours. I believe books are the ultimate leverage. In fact, I think you'll appreciate this. I was 21 years old when I read A Narrative in the Life of Frederick Douglass, his autobiography. The thing in that book that struck me the most was the fact that Frederick Douglass, who was instrumental in the abolition of slavery, said when he was about 6 years old, his master's wife was teaching him how to read. His master came in, caught his wife teaching him and other slave children how to read, and he absolutely flipped out. And he said, "Woman, don't you ever, ever teach a slave how to read." He said, and if you teach these slaves how to read, they will start reading books, and they will realize that the world is so much bigger than the world they live in now. They will never be content to be a slave again. And whatever you do, don't ever let a slave read the Bible. Frederick Douglass, at 6 years old, had a download from God, or the insight as a 6-year-old slave, to say, if the man who owns me and could kill me and not be prosecuted, sell me away from my mother or my mother away from me, if he's that dead set against me learning how to read, it is the most important thing I must learn how to do. And since he worked in the big house, he would take scraps from the master's table, exchange it to poor white children in the neighborhood, in exchange for them teaching him how to understand letters. And every time he found something with some writing on it, he'd put it in his pocket, and he would take it back to his slave quarters. And by moonlight, he would practice his reading. The man became so eloquent as an orator from the things that he had read that when I was 21 years old, in college, graduated from high school, there were words that he used in his book about his life that I had to look up in the dictionary before I could go any further. That's the magnitude of reading. He learned a skill because he could read. He learned the skill of carpentry. He bought his freedom, had it stolen from him, bought it again, had it stolen from him, bought it again, and finally he was free. The man became so eloquent because of reading that he gained an audience with the President of the United States and the Queen of England, and was instrumental in the abolition of slavery in the United States of America. Books open up the doors to all kinds of truth that we are currently unfamiliar with. And y'all are giving these young people such a great head start in the Academy of Scholars, teaching them how to read, and not just teaching them how to read, but teaching them to learn to love to read. It's a beautiful thing.